Okay, so now in this video, let's go through a master batch record created using the video SOP in the method made system. Okay, so what you see for master batch records is title of the batch record, and you will see sectioned off SOPs. In this case, we only have one SOP, but you can have multiple SOPs, and they will be listed separately, including their title and version. Each step is going to have a toggle switch, which is defined during the authoring process, which chooses whether this step requires verification to be compliant with 21 CFR 211 regulations. You will also see that steps may include parameters. You can add parameters to any step during the authoring process. You can also add multiple parameters to a given step. You can define the target, minimum and maximum values, the unit, and what you want to call the parameter. And these will be entered during the electronic batch record execution. Also, for compliance purposes, each parameter has a toggle switch defining whether it is a yield or not, because GMP requirements in the United States require that yields be calculated in certain circumstances, which are described specifically in the regulation. So you can see that each step is described. The steps that include parameters have those parameters, and this is the overall master batch record. You can include multiple SOPs. You can choose the order that you want the SOPs to be in the master batch record, and you can also include intermediate steps that happen between SOPs or at the beginning or at the very end. For example, if you have like a hold step that's not necessarily part of one SOP or another. Now, if we look at the security portion of the master batch record, you're going to see two certificates listed here. One for the master batch record, and at least one for the SOP. So in this case, I'm only using one SOP, so the security shows the SOP's data integrity certificate, its sub-certificates, and it also shows the master batch record and its sub-certificates. So each master batch record composes of three signatures, one for the selection and scope certification of the master batch record, one for the sequencing of the intermediate steps and SOPs, and finally one for the critical process parameters. Just like SOPs, you can create a revision and start at any of the specified gates. And this button here for execute batch is where operators go to create an electronic batch record. And here we can download the certified PDF of the master batch record. Okay, so I just downloaded the compliance package for this master batch record. I'm going to extract the zip file. Again, the auditor guide to forensics, just like in the SOPs, is ready here for every single download in case an auditor wants to look at it. You can see both the original JSON copy of the JSON of the data or the true copy. And what we'll see is just like in the SOPs, there's two sections, the actual manufacturing instructions shown as a table here with the critical process parameters defined, and the audit trail. So you can see that there's the selection phase where the SOPs were selected, which were to be used, and then the lock defining that that selection has been locked. You can see the sequencing locked, which is the signature which defines the exact order. So in this first selection phase, I selected which SOPs to use and then signed for that. And in the second phase, I decided the order of SOPs and intermediate steps and signed for that. And just like in the SOPs, all changes, including the definition of new process parameters, are stored. So you can see here's all these process parameters being stored. And here I'm actually I'm signing to lock those process parameters. You can see that it was submitted and then approved as a separate signature by quality. So we have a complete audit trail here.